I have been working on doing this video for quite a while now. I said a couple weeks ago that I was going to do the video. I even had the thumbnail ready, but I never got to the video. But after the comments or arguments I got into a couple days ago, I decided, you know what? This video needs to be made. And I already know this video right here is already going to cause a lot of discourse from a lot of people. But I'm going to keep it a buck. I already know when I upload this as a short, we're going to have some of the weirdest comments ever. Because every time I upload a short, I get some weird comments. So I know this one is going to be no different for the most part. In this video, I'm going to be debunking all my narratives about Caleb Williams and how he has been accused of things that we have not heard anybody else say except some of these weird scouts from these weird websites. And let's be honest, some of these guys have never met Caleb Williams, they never taught him, they never been in any of the vicinity of him, and they do their scouting by doing film, but they don't know this guy like anybody else does. And trust me, I don't know Caleb Williams either, but I can say for sure that a lot of these things about Caleb Williams are probably not true. Let's go ahead and get into it. So I think most of you watching this video right now know who Caleb Williams is. He's quite possibly the best player in this draft class, and he's quite possibly the best quarterback in this draft class in 2024. And let's just say he's a very polarizing and very controversial player. And some of those are for good reasons, some of those are for reasons, you know, that probably aren't too good. But a lot of these are for reasons that I'm still questioning. Where are people getting these from? So the narrative that I see thrown around a lot about Caleb Williams is this guy is a diva. And I wonder, how did this narrative begin? How did this narrative about Caleb Williams begin? And one of the first things I always have to look at is the fingernails thing. Dude, do y'all really care so much about this dude's fingernails? Like, let's be honest, if you're watching Caleb Williams on the field, when he's throwing the ball, are you going to have that much of visibility in your eyes to notice that this guy's wearing fingernail polish? Are y'all really going to notice that much? Does it really affect your ability to watch him play? Does it really affect you in any way whatsoever? It's his hands, it's his body. He can do what he wants. And I can only imagine the guys who have a problem with this, weird alpha males, you know, H words, homophobes, things like that. I can only imagine those are the main guys who have a problem with this, and especially the alpha males who, oh, I gotta be masculinity, I gotta do all of this. Dude, nobody cares. You ain't getting no type of females, nothing like that by being masculine. It's not working for you, buddy. Try again. But seriously, y'all don't care that much. I promise you, y'all don't. Like somebody else said, what does him painting his fingernails have to do with you? What does his fingernails have to do with him, his ability to play the game? And what does that have to do with anybody else on the field? Seriously, somebody answer. Again, the only reason why you guys have a problem with this is because Caleb Williams is a male, and you guys think males are not supposed to do things like this for the most part. And like I said, we know the type of people that are saying stuff like this, but I don't want to get demonetized, nor do I want to get this video taken down, so I'm going to chill out. Now, let's go over the second thing I saw people criticizing Caleb Williams about. The whole combine issue where he said he didn't want to submit his medicals and how he didn't compete in the combine whatsoever. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, Marvin Harrison Jr. were three other guys who also decided not to compete in the combine. But whenever Caleb Williams does it, oh, now it's an issue. And the thing with the medicals, now I know that was confusing to some people at first, but apparently Caleb Williams did this because he didn't want to do this with every team. He only wanted to do this with the teams he was meeting with, and it makes a little more sense. I can understand why somebody would be, you know, confused about that, but in the end, when you really think about it, what's the point of submitting your medicals to pretty much every team if you know every team has no chance at drafting you? Like, imagine submitting your medicals for the team like the Chiefs. What's the point of him doing that? Like, seriously. And Caleb Williams was not the first person to do this. Deion Sanders did this a long time ago with the New York Giants. He tried to make this guy read an entire book, and he said, oh, I'm gonna be gone before y'all pick anyways. And he said, you know what? I'm not even gonna do this. I'm not having this meeting. I'm out. And I think Deion Sanders turned out pretty well. I don't know. That guy's in some Hall of Fame now. Yeah, turned out well, I guess. Not comparing Deion Sanders and Caleb Williams. I'm just comparing the scenarios. So before y'all get y'all panties in a twist, that's all I'm saying. And then there's the person that said he wanted to own an NFL team. Listen, I'm not totally sure where y'all got that BS from, but I can tell y'all right now that a player cannot play in the NFL and own a team. There's literally rules in the NFL that literally state that this cannot be done. Like, I legitimately need some of y'all to do y'all's own research before y'all bring up stuff like this. Like, literally, the NFL just had a rule where they banned any type of player from having equity with a team while they're playing for it. I'm reading this straight from Pro Football Talk. Here are a few reasons why that's the case. This can cause potential salary cap complications and the potential depression of a franchise value when an employee leaves the team for another club. This can also lead to that said player basically running his mouth to another team that he potentially goes to after the team he owns. So like I said, this causes a number of problems. So Caleb Williams, this whole on the team thing should have never been a thing that even came up in the first place. So that's another narrative about Caleb Williams that's debunked. That's 3 in a row now. Now let's talk about the whole diva thing. I'm pretty sure a lot of you want to hear about this. And I can't lie to you, I haven't seen one coach, I haven't seen one player came out and said this about Caleb Williams to this point. The only people I'm hearing this from is these scouts from these weird websites and from people who've never had a genuine interaction with Caleb Williams to this point. So I said maybe I'm wrong on this, so I went to NFL.com to look at Caleb Williams' scouting report, and for the most part NFL.com, they're typically going to note out if a player has character problems or anything like that. And for Caleb Williams, unironically, I didn't see a thing noting his character concerns, off the field problems, or anything like that. But if I go to Johnny Manziel's report, there's a lot of things that we ended up finding out about him that we already knew for the most part. If you look at his scouting report literally states, arrogance, seeking out bright lights, is known to party too much, and is drawn to all the trappings of the games. So I almost have to imagine that if any of these character concerns about Caleb Williams were serious enough that needed to be noted, they would have been on his scouting report, right? But I look on NFL.com with all these well-respected scouts, I don't see a thing. So that makes me wonder even more, how did this scouting report stuff come up? So I think again, maybe there's something I didn't see about Caleb Williams that his coaches said about him. But then I looked, Lincoln Riley just said this: all Caleb Williams cares about is winning, and he wants to help a franchise be successful. He is very low-key about it all, and the team he has around him is very low maintenance. He's about the right things, and he's going to make an NFL team very happy. So his coaches saying all these things about him, but once again, nothing negative. But once again, maybe this doesn't fit your narrative, but then his high school coach came out and once again debunked all this once again. Randy Trivers coached Caleb Williams at Gonzaga High School, and he brought up this time where they were playing DeMatha and they scored 3 touchdowns in under 30 seconds. So Caleb Williams' former high school coach, Randy Trivers, will bring up this. He said, the go-ahead score that we had when we scored with 30 seconds left on that drive, it was 3rd down and 33. The play before that, he was sacked. I think he had a minor ankle fracture. He got up limping. He had to play another week. I don't think he would have played. He then goes on to state he gets up limping and it's 3rd down and 33. He throws a strike down the sideline for 37 yards. The next play we score what is apparently a touchdown, but the official said it's out of bounds. So it's all of these things that could get into this guy's head, but he really believes. He keeps his composure. The next play, the same play, he doesn't go to a particular receiver, but he goes to another one on the inside slant ball. We catch it and we go for the first time in the game. He stated, if anybody that's ever played with Caleb Williams or coached Caleb Williams, you know that very clearly that toughness is not an issue for Caleb Williams. Then he brought up the same thing I was thinking. Basically, the interviewer brought up when he was crying in the game against Washington. Trivers would say he'd rather have an athlete who gets emotional after a loss than one who cries on 3rd and 33. So, like I said, a lot of these things I can tell doesn't fit your narrative, right? So both of Caleb Williams' former coaches have already said there's nothing about Caleb Williams that shows he is a diva or anything like that. So now I question more and more where people are getting these things from. And then once again, another coach told The Athletic this: do I think there are red flags from Caleb Williams? No. Some guys may roll their eyes about what he paints on his fingernails. You know, that's not something to expect from an NFL quarterback. But he's a super talented kid who put a program on his back. He knows a lot of people are leaning on him. That's a lot. On the field, you see him take the easy stuff. When it's there, it's smarter decisions. But he's still a very young, and I think he's way too good to pass up on. So, with all these being said, with all the things I just went over and completely debunked, I'm still probably going to get a lot of people saying this isn't true and Caleb Williams is still a a diva for the most part, and that's okay. Some of you guys are just gonna be in denial. I don't know what it is. What's even crazier about some of these people who want to bring up these narratives about Caleb Williams, y'all can never find me a thing about his play that's bad. Y'all always talk about his character and the whole diva thing. I promise y'all, every person who I argue to about this can never talk about Caleb Williams and his playing ability. It's always something that's outside of his playing ability, and that makes sense. That probably shows how good he is. Let's continue. I brought up how one of his college coaches and high school coaches completely debunked the narrative about Caleb Williams and his character. And I brought up an example of what he did in one of his games that proves this guy is tough and this guy is not the diva y'all think he is. Then I debunked the whole ownership thing narrative because, like I said, he cannot do that due to the NFL banning equity with players. Then the whole fingernails thing, like I said, shut up, nobody cares. And for the combine, remember the combine has always been a choice. It's always been an option. Every player does not have to compete in the combine if they don't want to. And Caleb Williams, with him being a bona fide top 5 pick, he didn't have to. He wasn't the first player to do this, and I promise you, he won't be the last. So for the people who believed all these narratives, all I'm gonna say is, do your own research, stop believing what everybody says, and stop believing things around draft time. I promise you, every time around draft time, there's gonna be some rumors that cause somebody drafts out to go down or potentially cause it to go down. I promise you, it happens every year. CJ Stroud, the whole S2 score is causing to probably go not #1 overall. I don't know, but I hope that truly answers everything. And I'm gonna end the video here. Make sure if you haven't yet, you subscribe to my channel and tap the bell icon for future football content. Also, follow me on social medias down below in the description. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all that's down below in the description. Also, if you haven't yet, check out my recent upload where I talked about every team's best non-first round pick since 2010. Promise you that's a good video. Go ahead and check it out, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.